Eyes wide open. You are being recorded right now. So this class has some high-level topics. Version control through Git, containers through Docker, front end, back end, and then production. So I just want to kind of give you the lay of the land on how they all relate to each other. So let's see if this shows up. Let's see so there's Git, and then there's Docker with Docker Compose. Okay, I wish I can control the font size a little bit better, but so these, you can think of it as oh, that's horrible. Undo. You can think of it as tools. So, and then the rest of it, the front end, back end, that's the actual application. Wow, okay. Okay, so if I were to draw a box around that, that'll be the application. And then lastly, production, we're going to use Heroku. Sorry, my handwriting sucks. So production, we're going to use Heroku, and it's not really part of the application, but it is, how do I say this? It's kind of like operations, right? You have your application, but then you need to kind of be able to operate it and serve it to the world. So this is how you get your app to the rest of the world. So if I were to kind of put an analogy to it, if we were carpenters, this will be kind of like your hammer or your table saw. So those are the tools. And then what you actually build is like your house, right? So the front end might be the exterior, how nice it looks from the outside. And then the back end would be the interior, how sturdy and stable your structure is. So that's your application. And then production is kind of how you maybe sell it to the world. Like when you actually, you know, how it integrates. It's got to be on the street with mailbox, have someone living in it. So that's where the analogy breaks down. But hopefully that makes sense. So the first bit of the course. We're going to go through your tooling. And all your source code is text. So when we go through this, especially with Git, we're just going to use text. It's not going to be real code. Just so you can understand Git by itself. You don't have to worry about code. Later on, we'll layer in so Git tracks your code. The container tracks the environment that your application runs in. So we'll get comfortable with those tools first, and then after that, we'll learn how to build an application, the front end side, and then the back end side. The front end is a little bit easier. All you need is a browser. The back end is a little more complex. You need to kind of know how to use servers. And then lastly, hopefully we'll get your app to production on Roku. So that's kind of like the high level overview of all these topics and how I've kind of set things up. Is there any questions, comments, concerns about that before we dive into Git? All right, so I'm gonna stop the recording here.